Circle, it is Thursday and it's time to talk property. Share houses are not just for poor students anymore. Desirable and affordable housing is tough to get as an individual, and more of us are grouping together for professional share house options. Please welcome property expert Cashmore to tell us more. Welcome, Catherine. Tell us about share housing trends.
Yeah, look, this is really a growing trend because last week we did the census, and one thing that I didn't mention is this thing that group households are the biggest growing household that we've got in Australia, and it's obvious, isn't it? Because housing affordability is kicking in, and it's obviously cheaper if you all share a house than if you all do, you know, than if you live alone or live in a one-bedroom alone.
So just to define this for our viewers, you're talking about when either a group of friends go in together and buy a house all together, or you're a couple and you might say, let's go and buy a 5-bedroom house and we're going to rent out some of the rooms.
You can do that. You can do that as a couple, or as an investor, you can buy a house and you can rent it out room by room. But look, let's go straight into what's it worth, and I'll explain it all after we've done What's It Worth? Yeah,
it's very subtle now, isn't it?
It's kind of like the excitement.
You couldn't be a cat to hear it.
Okay, so this is good for uni students?
Yeah, it is. This is close to a university. So it's a 5-bedroom house. So someone's gone and bought this 5-bedroom house on a beautiful big block of land. And if you go through the photos, it's quite a basic property that you'll sort of see inside. But it's certainly livable. You know, that's something that you could...
filthy in no time.
You could live in. Oh, you're thinking of
that
the young
reminds
ones,
me of an exact house that I lived in with my mates when we were at uni.
There you
Gross,
go.
somebody died on that.
Yumi Steins.
Now, this is not, I can guarantee this is not near Sydney Uni nor Melbourne Uni. This is one of the more suburban universities, like a Deakin or
Monash. You know what? This is an area that's still fairly close to the city, but an area where you can still get your big blocks of land. So, you know, it's one of those areas that is pinpointed for this. But you can see the floor plan there. So you've got 5 bedrooms in a house like this. Let's go straight into what you think. What would you pay for it?
Gee, not much. 615.
650.
I'm going to go low. I'm going to say 420.
Okay.
Ooh.
750,000.
750. Come on, Georgie.
600 and... What did you say? 15? 650.
650. Okay, the price that this house sold for... So sorry, Colin. It was 655.
I gave you the clue, though.
Can I just quickly confess? I saw the photocopy sheet on this morning and I did see that was the price.
Where was it? What state was it in?
Look, let's go into the map, because it's in a southeastern suburb of Melbourne, and it's close to a big university, so it's walking distance to university. So let's have a look.
Monash.
Let's have a look where it is. Yeah, it is. It's Monash. It's Monash University.
That is a hole. I went there.
I went there too.
Do you
can't say that though. People live in Clayton and are watching the show.
They know
really dress the university. I'm not kidding. The universities are fantastic around there. Huge Asian, you know, students. But what I want to tell you is, look, if you were going to rent that just as a 5-bedroom house, so say you just put it on the rental market as a 5-bedroom, you perhaps get 400 a week for it.
Okay.
Right. Rent it room by room, you're looking at 800. You're looking at immediately doubling the yield. Now, that will cover your mortgage payments.
How do you actually rent it room by room?
Right, so what you have to do is you adapt the house, and this is a growing, so don't get this idea in your head, look, this is the young ones, you know, that I'm going to have all these people living. You know, we're talking about people that are going to university, and if you've ever, you know, I used to be a teacher, and certainly in Australia with the Asian students, you know, we're talking about people that are trying to make their way in life. Room by room, you put a lock on each room. You'd have the shared kitchen, and usually these houses come with 2 bathrooms. Sometimes they adapt them and they put in an extra toilet, and so then you share the facilities. But what you do is you rent it. So if you go onto the property websites, you'll see whenever you get close to a university, if you put in a 5-bedroom house, you'll find a whole load of listings underneath it that are actually rented room by room. But just don't think that this is students that are doing this. This is professionals that are doing it as well. This is what we keep talking about each week, which is about the cost of housing close to the city.
Okay, so if I was a young couple, a first-home buyers, and we decided that rather than spend $650 for a tiny apartment in the CBD, I could go and buy this property for $650, and we could decide that, okay, we're going to live there, but I'm going to rent out those other 3 bedrooms independently.
That's right.
And what would you get for the 3 bedrooms pulling
Well,
that
you get about $150 a week for each bedroom, and sometimes it can be more than that depending on the type of house.
Yeah.
But think about it, if you're a couple, you're killing us up here.
These guys have lost it. Just keep going. Just keep going.
If you're a couple buying, you would be better off renting in the city as a couple, buying this property and then renting out every single room in the property, because the rental that you're getting from this property alone is going to cover the mortgage.
That's amazing. So you're better off to rent in the CBD.
You would.
And get your $800 a week with using all those bedrooms out.
It's an option you could consider, but this isn't just renting. What I'm talking about here is there's whole industries that are set up with this shared housing model.
Is there a website that can help you?
There's all sorts of websites. Just go into Google and have a look on the websites, because they're just amazing. You get websites where they've actually adapted the house so they have soundproof rooms. And this is where I want to stress this. This is not just students that are doing it. People are getting married later in life, they're having children later in life, they want to be close to the city, they have good jobs, and, you know, they're perhaps saving.
And so when you're moving to this house, do you actually know anything about the other people living in the house?
You can do. So you can go online and just have a look. Just tell the audience now, go onto Google and have a look at this kind of phenomenon that's growing. What I was just saying there is that you can actually rent the room. The rental will cover, in some situations, all your electricity costs and your gas costs. They'll soundproof the room. You'll have a shared kitchen, and you'll perhaps share the bathroom with one other person, or you can pay a bit extra to have an ensuite.
You'd want an ensuite?
Well, I would want an ensuite, yes.
I don't even like sharing a toilet with my partner. A stranger.
But a great way, if you can't get into the market, you want to pay it off earlier, and you've got the attitude of like, well, for the next 12 months, let's just have fun and meet. But you get to still interview them and agree to them coming into your house.
You still do, and there's some really kooky examples of people that have done this, where they've put cartoons of themselves online and they've said, look, this is the kind of job that I do and everything.
Wow.
And OK, there is a young demographic that does it, but I really want to stress this is not. There's a lot of couples that go into a partnership together, or go into a house together, a house that has, you know, 2 double bedrooms and 2 ensuite bathrooms, and share the costs of the accommodation.
If you've got a mature age student, you'd be laughing, because they're so dedicated and committed, and they would just study and not be on the grog every night.
Look, this is really important because we have a first home buyer market that is really struggling in Australia, and it's important to look at the options that you can do, and this is why I'm saying that group households are increasing when everything else is just staying exactly the same.
Catherine Cashmore has put together a great fact sheet which you can download from our website or Facebook page, and please would you thank Catherine Cashmore?